Hello Gemini, welcome to a new era. My name is Emma. Gemini, I will just jump right into your reading here and talk a tiny bit while I'll shuffle. This is a reading for the upcoming 2 weeks, and it's mainly, I've asked the universe a question, and that is, what does Gemini need to hear most right now? And so that can be like for last week and for the upcoming 2 weeks I did love reading, so that's specifically towards love and romance. And so this is specifically, but it can be for everything. It can still be for relationships. It can be for your body and health. It can be for finances. It can be for anything and everything. And so when I start to talk, whatever resonates with you is the thing. Okay. And that can vary from person to person. It doesn't have to be the same since it's general. And so this reading is also for the upcoming 2 weeks, starting today. When I'm recording this is on the 18th of November. And I just want to say, we're finally moving out in a few days from Scorpio season, moving into Sagittarius, which is Skytten in Swedish. And so that is a heck of a lot easier energy. It's lighter, it's more fun, it's more stable, it's more sure, and whatever you sort of dealt with during this crappy Scorpio season period, and whatever you sowed, like whatever you planted during these like past 2 months and also the past decade, the upcoming 2 weeks, that specifically this week, the upcoming week is like, we have all the planets going direct, like they've always been going direct really, but it feels lighter in the air, it feels lighter in the atmosphere, and like just Mercury goes direct again, and we have Jupiter coming into play, which is just blessings, abundance in terms of money, more stabilizing in relationships, things like that. So it's just overall a beautiful energy, guys. So the first card out is the same card I had for Aries, the Aries reading, and that's the basic energy for the upcoming 2 weeks. So if you have an Aries connection, if you feel drawn to Aries, which is Väduren, then I suggest you go watch it. If you don't feel it resonates, then don't watch it, okay? Gemini, what was that about? Well, it was a lot about having to deal with many things, and that you sort of need to organize and prioritize things, I just realized. So maybe Gemini, that's for you as well, being the Gemini that you are. So just the energy just feels like coming out of Scorpio, planets are going direct. The actual planets playing a role is like really uplifting and fun and creative and inspiring, and it just feels lighter. But let's see what's going on for you specifically. So actually I am drawn to talk about a relationship with you guys. Even though I did the love reading, there is a relationship standing out here, and something involving kids. So let's see. What is that? I don't know. Just okay, just listen to what I have to say here and see if it resonates. Not resonates, but see if you at all understand what I'm trying to say here. I'm just saying what just sort of pops out here in the card, and I'll show you the card in a minute. There's something about you trying to create something. You're trying to get something to be. Here's what I see. It's almost like you're sitting at home making a little, and being the Gemini that you are, you probably are. This would never happen to me, ever. I would not sit at home and create this little thing. I get like this, I don't know what that's called in English, and I almost don't know what it's called in Swedish either. It's like papier-mâché. papier-mâché. I don't know if that's the same. Like you build, it's like you can have like, you have paper and then you have glue and then you have paper and you have glue and you have paper and you start to build this thing, papier-mâché. And it's like, I don't know, for Christmas, I have no idea. For maybe I was gonna say Halloween, but we passed that. Thanksgiving in the Americas. Have you had that already? I don't know. It's like you're sitting at home creating this angel in paper and glue. I have no idea what it is that you're doing. It's like a craft thing. It's like you're creating this thing. And I don't know if you're quite that happy with it. And I have no idea why this matters. Why take the up time to say that I see that you're creating this thing. Okay. It's a beautiful thing that you're... Okay, let's show you what I saw here. There you go. It's like 2 white flowers right there. And then with like a head. It stands out to me. It almost... In Sweden we have these white flower bells. I don't know what they're called either. For Christmas. So it might be a Christmassy thing. I don't know. And then it's like you try to make this thing and you're not super happy with it. But I just want to let you know that it makes more sense. This source sort of recognizing you for doing what you're doing and say, keep up the good work. It's like remove yourself from everyday life, from everyday duties and obligations. It feels like the further away you can get from the feeling of obligation. I'm obligated to do this. I must do this. I have to do this. The more musts and have tos you have, I feel the more restricted you feel. And it feels like you need to relax and let go a bit, enjoy a bit more. And Gemini, this is a way of, like, if you really get into the crafts and creative things, that sort of vein that you have going through your body and really focus on it. And no matter how pissed you get at the thing that you're trying to create. And for all the other Geminis that you go, what? I haven't done, I don't know what the papier is, what you're talking about. I made dinner recently. Okay, then, you know, it doesn't have to be this fancy thing. I don't know if you yourself would call it fancy. I would call it fancy. It could be that you baked something. It can be that you're doing something that you really enjoy doing that is not so typical every day what you're doing. If you have an everyday job, you have an everyday, like you have chores that you need to do. And then on top of that, you go and paint some, or you go and do this papier-mâché thing, or I can't think of anything. It's just a tiny bit on the side, and it gives you a way of focusing on something else than just the thing. Oh my God, 9 minutes in, I'm still talking about this. There's something that is important here, that you continue to do the creative things right now, because the creative thing will get you out of the funk of feeling a bit stuck in doing obligating things. It wasn't that hard, was it? That will give you your power back. There's something with getting your power back, with getting your there's something here with a relationship and with kids involved, and that you need, like, what does the papier-mâché 9 minutes introduction have to do with this? Everything. It feels like the more you remove yourself from everyday life, from everyday discussions, debates, I don't know if there's conflict, things going on in the house, things going on in the workplace, things going on in your mind, maybe. Usually that's where it starts. There's a hesitation here. There's something about, because I want to show you, the last card out is my unicorn, and the unicorn stands for soulmate connection. Like, it just talks about, that's why I said this is about relationships. And so you're taking something to the next level, if that makes sense. Like, if you had a soulmate connection, if you have like an initial, you just met this person, the next phase will be that you just decided that you will start to date. If you've dated this person for a while, you met your soulmate and you dated them for a while, maybe you taking it to the next step and you're like saying, we're in a committed relationship now, like we're taking one like a step further, or you're going to move in together, or if you're into that, you're going to get engaged, or you're going to get married, or you're going to have kids, like buy a dog. I don't know. The next step for you, that feels like the next step, like we're taking it further in our relationship, is coming up, and is due to, it has like involves kids. And I feel on your part, Gemini, not so much on your person's part, but on your part, you feel a bit restricted here. There's something about the kids. Are you scared you won't get along with your person's kids? Are you scared your person won't get along with your kids? Do you both have kids? Are you scared? Scared is too big, but are you worried your kids won't get along? I'm not saying it's any of those choices. I'm just grasping for what I feel here. There's some sort of hesitation taking this next step. Maybe it's because you've been burnt in the past. Maybe you like re-enter thoughts into what I feel is a non-issue, Gemini. This is a non-issue. And so if we put this, like, I do get the relationships, but if you've put this in a work-related situation, you're at this job. You've done this job for quite some time, and it's time for the next step. Like, it's time for you to climb the, I don't know what you say, career ladder, like one step up in the business. And that puts you in a position where you're going to start to work with certain people. Are you going to enjoy them? Are they going to enjoy you? Are you going to be welcome there? This next step for you, is that really going to be good for you? Because when I was at this last job and I did that, it was like the next natural step for me as a career enhancement, but it also made me really not like myself because I did this and that. Like, it feels like you're bringing old patterns with you in terms of this new thing, and I don't want to scare you, but that will destroy things. That will in itself lead to conflict. That I'm telling you, I'm not telling you anything, but I'm getting this from source. You really don't need to. I feel like the next step in this business, moving in there to the new office, whatever, getting to work with these new people, is going to be a match in heaven. Taking this next step in your relationship, whatever you've been concerned about in the past, drop those concerns, because the concern itself is magnetic. You will attract something that is just, it just has to be created in order for you to be able to receive it due to your own worry. And if you drop the worry, it will never show up. I promise you, it's a non-issue. Do the papier-mâché to bring your happiness back, to put you in alignment, to put you in balance, to feel like whatever you're doing that makes you happy. It's the easiest thing to say. Continue to do that, whatever that is. And if you haven't started, do it now to put you in balance. That will have your power back. That will have your power back, and that will have you be more stable around your kids and around the situation that you're moving into now. Literally moving into, or just moving into a different energy right now. And for a lot of Geminis, that's going to be around the relationship. It's going to be that you meet somebody new, or you met somebody new, and you're taking it to the next step. And it's a reminder to, instead of worrying about what's going to happen because I'm used to that stuff happening, just to remember to keep doing your papier-mâché. I have no idea if I say that right. Like continue to do your crafts and your creative stuff, whatever makes you happy, will have you move into the next step. And if you're sitting out there being single, like I haven't met somebody, okay, and there's no job and there's no career steps, then it's the next phase for you energetically. Like what is, if the first thing that comes to mind, what is your next step? What have you been waiting for? What have you been planning for? What is this thing that you can't wait for it to just manifest and start to show up in a different way in your life than it has in the past? That too is a concern for you, that what if it doesn't happen? What if I go there and I fail again, or it just won't meet my expectations, I will feel disappointed, I have invited people to this thing and then it didn't work out. Whatever that is, drop it. I feel like it's a match in heaven. Whatever you've been waiting for is going to come to fruition. All the planets say the same thing. We have like the stars, the planets, the just overall collective energy in itself. We're shifting now. So just continue on that path. And for some reason, the easiest way for you to do it is just pick up something that is really crafty. Do something with your hands. There's something with your hands, and I know you're good with your hands. You want to have different things going, and using your hands will sort of, as soon as you use your hands, like my son is hearing impaired and I've been using doing sign language forever. And at the very beginning I read up on it and it said the minute you start to do sign, as the same time, like as you need to think about the sign that you're supposed to do. It uses, first of all, it uses it uses all your brain, both sides of the brain. And so when you go to craft something, or I don't know, where you can play the guitar or like bake or papier-mâché or whatever you do with your hands, and you need to think about what you're doing with your hands. First of all, you're in a very much more creative spot than if you weren't using your hands. And second of all, it takes your mind off of the thing you're worried about. So that's the source's advice for the upcoming 2 weeks. Just continue. And that's not so bad, is it? Oh, shoot. I now have to go do the thing I love. Crap. That's not so bad, is it? That's your medicine for the upcoming 2 weeks. Final advice from source. Take this with you. And there won't be extended today. I do the extended. Oh man, I couldn't be. Let it go. Whatever that thing that has you worried, is this going to work out? Am I really going to get to that next step? Let it go. The card says letting go. Learn to let go. Let it go. Have you seen my beautiful nails today? They're very crafty. Let it go. Okay, guys? I hope it helps and resonates and uplifts and inspires at least some of you guys out there. And I hope to see you back next week for your love reading. This message is for the upcoming 2 weeks. And so next week I'm starting over with the love readings, and then it's going to be extended. Okay, guys? Take care out there. And please subscribe if you haven't already. It really would help me. Bye.